Echo Fox can now pick up that Grace, potentially I feel, or Lyra. And then, or they might pick a carry, but I feel like they need to pick one of the healers here at the A side. Yep, they're going to go ahead and pick the Lyra here. Now, Nova has Grace, or Vox here they can pick into this Lyra composition.
I would like to see them grab the Grace, and then you maybe even try and get Vox with your second rotation pick. Vox is likely to be banned away by Echo Fox if it does get to them, so I would expect that to be the case. But then you're going to be leaving the Kestrel open too. So
this
it's really you're kind of ended up in a catch-22, but you have to pick one of the whichever you feel is the lesser of two evils there.
I feel like if I'm Echo Fox right now, I'd rather get rid of the Kestrel and just deny that from Truth as opposed to the Fox. I feel like Truth on Kestrel is just too terrifying to deal with.
Yeah, plus Grace with Kestrel, that's an extremely strong combination. And I felt like Echo Fox should have picked Grace, because Grace is actually good into Kestrel. Grace can basically get onto her very quickly, and Lyra is not really a nice tanky front line to absorb those arrows. They heard Nova's going to go ahead and ban the Idris here, and Echo Fox here, I think Kestrel would be a smart ban because Nova will probably pick Kestrel if they do not ban it. And I think Nova knows that Echo Fox doesn't play Kestrel, so they may even just take Samuel here if Samuel is not banned. Nova can just pick up Samuel and then last pick the Kestrel into Echo Fox composition. Oh, they're going to go ahead and ban the Kestrel away. So very smart draft by Nova. They're definitely adapting their draft now.
And we'll see with that Vox open whether Nova do go for that, and it will be locked in almost instantly there. And now Echo Fox have to round out their composition. They've got a Lyra as a starting point, so they're very open in what direction they can go with. What are we expecting to come through here? Are there certain comfort picks that you would just assume Echo Fox lock in here?
I mean, they've run the Scarf in each of the previous two games, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try and go for that again. Just because, again, comfort picks are what trumps all at this stage. So a Scarf, I think, would make some sense. And then in the lane is where the question mark really lies.
Glaive or Jewel. I know Supershot plays Glaive or Jewel, so he may play one of those heroes. Although in this situation, they would not be good because they're both melee heroes and Grace can easily CC them. So they're going to go with the Glaive, and I think they're going to last pick the Scarf here, because that's what Urin's been playing in jungle every single game. So I'm pretty sure Scarf is going to be picked here, and then Nova's going to go ahead and round it out with the Samuel pick. So with that composition there, Glaive is pretty good against Vox if he gets a good afterburn into the wall. However, Grace can then help CC the Glaive, can rush the Glaive with the Benediction, and then Holy Nova to stun the Glaive to reduce the damage output onto the Vox, and then Vox can just then kite Glaive since his afterburn is down. Oh, they're going to actually take the Samuel away from Nova. So very smart pick by Echo Fox here. So now is Nova going to play this Scarf, or are they going to play maybe an assassin type of hero to go dive onto that Samuel? But I feel like with Lone Delphi's hero pool, he can go with a CP Blackfeather potentially here. Oh, Taka. They are going to pick an assassin and dive right onto that Samuel.
Yeah, so looking to shut down the consistent damage that Samuel can output during these fights. So quite different compositions to what we saw out of these two teams last game. Definitely, I'm expecting different playstyles from each of them coming on into this map, Bacon.
Yeah, for the side of Echo Fox, it's going to be a lot of just trying to use this Glaive to isolate a target and then blow them up with the Samuel when the team tries to get in and protect them. You know, you're going to have the big splash damage from the Malice and Verdicts. However, on the side of Nova, so much of what they're going to be looking to do is just take that Samuel out of the fight completely when it does get initiated. So it's going to be actually really interesting to see, because these two dynamics are pretty much directly opposed to each other.
All right, so now with the Lyra on the side of Echo Fox, is there a way that they can kind of get a snowball on the go early on along with that Lyra Samuel and try and get some early pressure to alleviate that powerful dive that Taka will offer later on?
Yeah, for sure. Lyra Samuel is stronger than Taka early game, especially when he's pre-level 6. So definitely need to abuse that and try to deny jungle so Taka doesn't get level 6 as soon as possible. And then potentially snowball from there and build defense once Taka gets like a Shatterglass or something. But it's really tough because Grace is a dive comp with Vox and Taka. They love to dive, so they need to counter that dive. Otherwise, Nova's going to win every fight.
All right, well, it's time to jump on into our final game of the day. It is Nova up against Echo Fox. Let us know on social media who you are voting for. Hashtag Vainglory8 is the hashtag to go with on Twitter. But it's time to jump on into our very final game of the day and see who our final semi-finalist is going to be.
Echo Fox versus Nova here. Tempo Storm have taken that win over Hammer's Scoundrel, which means the winner of this series will face them in the semis tomorrow. Echo Fox will be wanting to be that team so that they can break out of the challenge battles. Nova comfortably in a good position at the moment.
They're taking away Lone Delphi's Samuel, but Lone Delphi has now got back onto Attacker. Considered a pretty decent pick into the Samuel for the ability to just stick to him, apply the mortal wounds, not having to have something like a poison shiv in tow. So it's obviously Samuel will have to be careful of his positioning this game. Well, there is super shot on a glaive, weapon powered glaive in lane as well here. Interesting pick. It means they're going to look to maybe apply pressure very early on in the laning phase. Also means it's got semi-decent peel against Attacker as long as you know able to punt Attacker after he's used that Chitin and Xretsu. Means he has limited ways of getting back onto the Samuel. Good way of peeling for the Samuel here.
Yeah, certainly is. I do like the glaive at the moment. Very strong pick. It's an engage though onto Erwin here. Lone Delphi and Starboy looking for it. Erwin in trouble, but there's that empowered Malison Verdict. Truth coming down, and so is Super Shot. There's the afterburn. Nova going to look like they lose their lives, and they will. It will be Slater finding the first blood on that Lyra. And Nova not quite able to punish this Samuel. Slater though may be punished. Nope. That retribution won't be enough to slow the speedy Lyra. They get away with first blood.
Again, it's Taka pre-level 6. It is definitely hard to make work in these kind of situations. It works well because Grace can slow the target and Taka can stick to them, but without Xretsu, Taka doesn't have the way to close the gap onto Samuel in the early game, and Samuel's level 2 is so strong, and people tout Samuel's level 2 as one of the strongest level 2s in the game. So Erwin were able to kite backward with the Drifting Dark and Malice and Verdict, and Lone Delphi didn't really have anywhere to go. He's going to just basically walk into a Malice and Verdict there as they put pressure onto Super Shot. I don't know what Lone Delphi's doing.
No, he's able to block the afterburn, perhaps just trusting his Tucker mechanics to be able to get himself out of a sticky situation, more looking just to try and find this Samuel by himself. Currently, I feel like Starboy and Lone Delphi need to become the grand team to take out this Samuel. The glaive in lane, pretty hard to punish, I think. Scoundrel Afterburn's always going to be at his side, as is the heal. Truth perhaps may be a little bit threatened by the glaive, but Starboy needs to be finding Erwin with Lone Delphi and punishing this Samuel as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm trying to put pressure onto Truth in this box. I do worry about the capability of Fox to function in the late game. I think late game Nova definitely have a slight edge. Grace very, very good in the late. We've got a fight actually, whoa.
Yeah, Erwin does get pressured, but here comes Super Shot. Knocking Starboy away, the Malice and Verdicts, making sure Truth can't engage easily. Now Lone Delphi in a bit of trouble. There's Scout Traps in the middle of the map. That's going to be a lot of damage onto Lone Delphi. He does not have his stealth for a long time, and Super Shot should be able to secure that kill fairly simply. I like this rotation from Truth towards the backs, but the backs have just been done by the Samuel, so they're not going to respawn for at least another 5 to 10 seconds, and so Truth will waste a lot of time attempting this play. There they are. But it is going to be Erwin taking away the backs here from Lone Delphi. So it is a trade at the end of the day. If he doesn't lose any farm in lane, it's worth, I guess, that you've traded the gold. But still, it is this Samuel winning the jungle matchup against the Tucker.
Yeah, and it was a net loss, you'd say, for Nova, because it wasn't really a loss for Samuel. He got the backs. Super Shot. He's not going to be too bothered. He's still got Afterburn to get out of there if he needs it. And also, Vox did lose time in the lane in which Super Shot was soaking up the lane minions. Actually froze it for a bit to try and deny Lone Delphi the ability to just walk up and take free minions there as well. Net gain in the end for Echo Fox. And Owen's having a good performance again, putting Lone Delphi onto something that is a little bit different. Lone Delphi going for the Stormguard banner into Aftershock route, which has been the sort of standard now. We don't often see Stormcrown get finished often on Taka these days. Just rushes the Aftershock to give him an earlier item spike in terms of flat burst damage.
We'll have to see. I guess there is a potential to finish that Stormcrown out, but we'll see what he does decide to do. Would make more sense, I think, the Aftershock, as you mentioned. Currently Erwin though having a great time. 26 CS, 2 assists. Unfortunately, one of those kills did go to Slater, the first blood. but you've made it to this 5-minute mark. You've made it towards a point where, you know, the Tucker could have put the most pressure on you with the Crystal Sentry on his way to work. Hadn't quite made it there. He actually is going to go for the Stormcrown Ex-Scoundrel.
Oh, okay. I thought he might be going towards death. Not too much. No, we don't see too many attackers finish the Stormcrown these days, but he's going to finish up.
It's interesting. I guess the true damage might help with the tankiness that is Super Shot.
And clear speed, I guess, as well. But I always thought Stormguard Banner was enough here.
There's going to be a siege potential for Nova right now. Though you would think that Echo Fox have the premier range at this point. There's nothing for Lone Delphi to take from the enemy jungle. So Echo Fox don't lose anything in this moment. Whereas Lone Delphi has jungle camps ready to be taken. Owen's just sticking around right now, as he has nothing to do other than, you know, throw damage out. He can look to clear some vision and he'll pop some scout traps on his way. These camps will be coming up very shortly. Doomshot taking a bit of poke in lane. Owen has to make sure he doesn't catch himself out of position. There's the Frostburn picked up by him. It's going to be his Treant contested here. Slater knows it's going down. Owen's not going to... Oh! He stole it, Slater. So they secure their front Treant. It does go over to Slater. But still, currently just Echo Fox getting everything they want.
Slater has to be careful. X-Retsu is there. Lone Delphi got a lot of damage now. He's picked up the heavy prism, so he looks maybe not even going to go towards Aftershock at all here.
Shatterglass.
Yep, Shatterglass. Very good against double squishy, although there's not really that many double squishies because it's a glaive. He's not exactly considered a squishy in sort of most scenarios. But I guess their main target is literally blowing up Irwin. So get that Shatterglass gives you more burst damage.
Yeah, if you can blow up Irwin, teamfights become a lot easier. And then you can look to try and take down the glaive, I guess, is the idea. Very interesting. Often you do see that Shadowglass into double squishy, not so much into double tanky, and you know, Lyra and glaive will be very tanky. Irwin though has his Frostburn now. Looks like he's building towards the Eve of Harvest. It's likely it's what he's been itemizing on Scarf as his second item rather than the Broken Myth. Perhaps he changes up for Samuel. Currently though, it is a slight gold lead for the side of Nova. They secured that gold miner at Scoundrel. Now they're moving into lane.
So Malice and Verdict's putting pressure on as Nova work down their way down towards the shop. I imagine Truth can finish up his tension bow here if he wants. Yes, he can. Working towards a reflex block. He's already got the heavy steel, so he's halfway on the way towards his breaking point as well. Truth very close to finishing up his late game build here. Super Shot is sitting on his Poison Shiv and his tension bow right now. A little bit more defense invested for Super Shot. Although he is also about 20 CS behind Truth, and I think a lot of Truth has been getting jungle camps as well, as Lone Delphi is about 10 or so behind, or no, actually just 4 behind Irwin. So farm advantage really in Nova's territory at this point.
Yeah, it certainly is. In the lane. Currently, that's something you have to consider for the glaive. Normally very good at just hard farming, but struggling against the box. There's been no pressure onto the box this game. All the pressure has been, you know, in response to Lone Delphi looking to kill Irwin. And so Echo Fox haven't really been able to deal with Truth, stop him from farming, put the pressure on the lane like a glaive can do. We've seen so many times this season. Is this turret siege started up? But Nova looking to contest it is going to be then pushed back. Lone Delphi knocked up against the wall, a lot of damage onto him as well. The Scout Trap, they're looking for the engage. They put the Bright Bulwark down, the Oblivion as well. Truth will go down, and it's going to be a kill over to Irwin. Now looking for a second onto Lone Delphi. He gets himself the Divine Intervention. They turn and face up Starboy, finding themselves another to make it 4x Scoundrel. And now this turret under siege. What can Lone Delphi do to keep it alive? Nothing. He will just run away. And Echo Fox in one team fight take the gold lead.
Wow, what a turnaround for Echo Fox. Farm had been going Nova's way. It looked like they were getting small advantages in the jungle despite Irwin's early lead. But one burst play onto Truth as Lone Delphi doesn't even secure his forward healing camp has given Echo Fox a little bit of a lead now to work with. This is really good for Echo Fox. They need to run with this. They want to make sure Irwin continues the pressure. He's actually chosen to go Eve of Harvest second item here. Really values the sustain versus this Taka. Thinks that any sustain extra that he can get in his back pocket will help him survive versus the burst damage of this Taka, who is very close to finishing his Shatterglass. Needs just 50 more gold. Choosing to fight before he hits that target, though. interesting
Perhaps.
move. He should have it by the next time they choose to engage.
You'd think so. There it is, going to come out now. And they could look just to fight with that huge power spike. Here they go, straight on in. That chunks down the glaive. Erwin now in a bit of problem as he sees how much glaive took, supposedly this tanky hero. Imagine how much the Samuel takes instead. So many mortal wounds options for the side of Nova. In the Poison Shiv, in the X-Retsu. Erwin gets caught out. He gets chunked down. Fountain comes out. They're going to try and turn damage. Nova takes a bit, but the Divine Intervention will do the work. The Tension Bow chunks Erwin, but they have a Lyra, and Lyra can heal. That is the saving grace currently of the side of Echo Fox as this turret siege begins for Nova, looking to try and whittle it down. Energy low on Truth. There is the Bright Bulwark as well. They've got the portal they can chase, and they're going to start it. Fountain comes through. We'll keep Truth alive. Delphi straight on top of Erwin, and he gets chunked down. Supershot decides to focus down Starboy. It's a double for Truth, and it's looking like Supershot will lose his life as well. Trying to get one back, but he cannot. It is going to be the ace coming out for Nova.
Oh, a straight up burst damage from Lone Delphi. So good with that Shatterglass. I think tier 2 shielding is a necessity in terms of prioritization for both Supershot and Erwin at this point in time. They need to reduce the flat damage from that Shatterglass as much as possible. They've only got tier 1 right now, which is about a 20 to 25% reduction. Tier 2 should give them upwards of 30 to 40%. So the sooner they can invest in that, the better here, Dalsy.
Erwin is going to be very vulnerable, and that was facilitated by Supershot tunneling on the kill for Starboy. I feel like this glaive is going to have to be a huge peeling tool. Cannot really be looking to go on his solo adventures, X-Scoundrel, look for his solo kills. If Tucker, Lone Delphi, dives on top of Erwin Samuel, then Supershot has to be there to put the pressure back on top of this Tucker and make sure that Erwin is getting out alive. Whether it be an afterburn, whether it just be the burst that this Tucker can output, I feel like Echo Fox may have to change their priorities in team fights.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dalsy. I don't know whether they play a peel game and try and just peel for the Samuel where they can, or try and isolate Truth very early on, but this big item spike is doing so much work.
Oblivion goes out. It's going to be Lone Delphi blocking it up. He gets the heal knocked against the wall. He's getting bursted down. The Fountain comes out. Erwin, very healthy right now. And the Malice and Verdict empowered, but they will not chase X-Scoundrel. Seems like the peel worked for them in this scenario, even through Starboy's healing. But he's got that single crystal bit in his inventory, X-Scoundrel. That means that there is going to be a Shatterglass on the way for the side of Nova. Truth, though, knocked against the wall. He gets demolished. Starboy, holy Novas to try and prevent his death, but his death is inevitable, and it's a double for Supershot. Lone Delphi, last man standing at his turret as the minion wave crashes on in, and Echo Fox is going to be looking to take this and perhaps even Lone Delphi's life. Erwin not even taking damage. It was onto the Lyra, and that turret will fall in a swift movement.
Massive disrespect you feel from Truth's positioning there, if I'm completely honest, Dalsy. You disrespect the fact that Taka has backed. Supershot just needs to afterburn you. I mean, I guess you were planning on reflex blocking it, but I feel like that was a bit more of a mistake on Nova's part than really anything. I mean, Fox were good to pull the trigger, but Truth stepped way too far up versus a glaive with Taka back at base to make that kind of play. I think that was a very risky positioning there.
Currently, Nova are looking for a fight straight off the bat. In the jungle, though, this is dangerous positioning. Treant secured there as well by Erwin. Even more disrespect from the side of Echo Fox as Nova walk in with a single target and they don't even get that. They've got the gold lead by a little, X-Scoundrel, but the Broken Myth has now been finished, and that is a huge power spike for Erwin's Samuel.
Looks like Echo Fox need to just regroup again, just try and make those same kind of plays again. Isolating a target is so good for them. If they can use Glaive to isolate something like the Vox, land a couple of those big Malice and Verdicts on the Drifting Dark down, then that might be enough, though. This is a very quick take here, potentially.
Oop, they go in for the steal, not quite going to get it. This opens up a re-engage. Silence goes out. Erwin and Supershot silence. Lone Delphi going to dance around the fight. They're going to get the kills, though. And here comes the Malice and Verdict starting to come out. Damage going out. Starboy sold his crystal bit, so he doesn't have enhanced healing with his crystal ratios. And Nova walks straight back into the mix. That's Truth once more, disrespecting Super Shot and losing his life. The kill goes Irwin's way. They know Delphi has gone away. They're not quite able to find him though. It is Irwin chasing around the map trying to find an invisible Tucker, but he will not be able to. Echo Fox, 8-3 right now.
Yeah, full metal jacket on Truth at this point in time. But again, you're right, completely disrespecting the kind of pressure that Super Shot can put out of him if he's just a moment out of position. The way that Nova need to play this against a Glaive is very opposite to the way that we saw a couple of the teams play earlier, specifically, and my mind's completely gone blank. Second game of the day where they were all splitting up. NRG, different to the way that NRG played. NRG wanted to split against their competition. They wanted to try and split focus. Nova need to group up entirely. Make it very difficult for Glaive to pick out a target. Just play as a unit. If your Taka goes in, you try and commit to the Taka, and then you just sort of keep grouped up and don't split off. The moment one of you splits off, you become a target for a Glaive isolating afterburn. You need to stay as a unit here from Nova.
Currently Nova are, as a unit, all grouped up here at Scoundrel in that bush. Owen starts throwing the Malice and Verdicts out, and that will stack up his Broken Myth nicely. There's the engage. It's Starboy knocked back. They're going to put Lone Delphi on top of Irwin, and now Truth is aggressing as well. Irwin able to dance around the fight with his Drifting Dark, and Super Shot may be in trouble. In fact, he is. Slater, his Fountain, too early to keep his Glaive alive. Now Irwin going to try and do the work. Great group up. Now can they do it? Lone Delphi going to lose his life, I think, as Irwin finds the kill, but it's only a singular kill, and this is now Slater in trouble. Slater, if he falls, it's Kraken time for the side of Nova. The ace will come through. We'll have to see if they go for the Kraken. 14 seconds left on this Glaive. I think it has to be a Kraken.
Yeah, they should be able to take this with fairly easily, rather. And Super Shot, I don't think he'll be able to. He should be actually might be able to get there in time. Remember, you don't build breaking point stacks on neutral objectives, so this will be a little bit slower than they would have liked. Super Shot might be able to make what I call the poly hero play, where you just basically afterburn into the Kraken pit and hope for the best. And that looks like where he's heading now.
Timing's there. He's coming in. There it is. There's the poly hero play. It's a little bit early on top of the box, though, and it's a lot of damage. There's the heal coming out. Starboy keeps the Kraken tanked up, but he's bought time. Surely they have to drop the Kraken here. It's too risky now because everyone from Echo Fox can come in. They're going to continue. They have Storm Crown. They're going to look for the burst. No, they're looking like they're going to drop the HP bars, but Irwin, with his Drifting Dark, does keep the Kraken engaged for a second, decides to drop it. Echo Fox did it. Polly would be proud.
Yeah, Polly would be proud. That was a real Polly hero play right there. And he actually got away with it. I mean, Polly fell flat on his face because it was a last-ditch attempt, but Super Shot got away with it. The metal jacket coming in use as well. Even versus the tension bow, 12% armor pierce, it will do some serious damage reduction. And Super Shot was able to escape, and Irwin then able to back him up at the very end. Truth is now infused. I think it's going to be pretty hard hitting. Lone Delphi has just picked up his infusion. It's double infusion versus double infusion right now. The perfect time for everybody to fight. As Slater has gone the build that I really like on Lyra. Heavy heal build with the Slumbering Husk here.
Yeah, you may be looking at that Slumbering Husk and thinking, what kind of burst does he actually need to protect himself against? Well, there is the Tucker, and so there is burst there, but it's more about the health Scoundrel. 500 health increases that sigil heal. And so we can just really try and keep Owen alive in these big all-in engages that Nova have been putting out.
Well, it's great. It's a great place to fight on top of a sigil as well as the team fights, where Nova want to try and stay grouped up as much as possible. If you stay grouped up around a sigil, that's excellent amounts of healing for Fox to use in the midst of a team fight, and it just makes Lyra so potent by having this health stacking. I mean, this is the complete health stacking build as well. Contraption, Fountain, Crucible, War Tread, Slumbering Husk. So much health, and that heal really will be hugely impactful in team fights. So Slater got a really, really good build to help keep, especially Super Shot alive.
He's going extra health. Main
focuses.
Another heart. Poke up. Oak heart. Here comes Delphi. The only criticism I have is there's no Atlas, which means Truth will be able to keep his attack speed alive with this attack speed orientated Fox build. Super Shot going down the metal jacket. to try and just soak it all up. They want to blow up Troop. That is their aim. Troop walks into the bush, face checks it, but they heal it all up. Nova need to dive in onto Erwin. Where are you, Lone Delphi? He is not wanting it. And that means Erwin gets his health restored by this huge health build coming out of Slater. Oak Heart in inventory will upgrade to a Dragon Heart. And then you would think he would continue upgrading further. There's a re-engage coming out of Nova. A lot of damage going out, but Starboy almost loses his life. The block on the Oblivion. Lone Delphi re-engages. There's the hill from Starboy. Truth back up to full. Lone Delphi there as well. Slater needs to heal his team. He pops it out. It gets instantly consumed. The fountain will come out. Echo Fox looking for the re-engage, but Erwin, his drifting dark should be enough to find at least one, you would think. Truth just tanking it all up. The Crystal Sentry comes to the rescue of the team. Nova will be forced to back. Starboy going to follow up as well. This Crystal Sentry will lose its life. Echo Fox going for it. But will they turn face towards the Kraken? Or is it just going to be a disengage of the fight entirely?
I think they're too low. They know how quickly the roster from Nova can respond if they went for Kraken. I actually think there was opportunity missed there, Dalsey, in that fight. Lone Delphi was split and Truth and Starboy on the other side. I think Truth was a prime target for an afterburn there from Supershot, but Supershot refused to take the aggressive afterburn position. It's actually going to be Nova starting up the Kraken, Dalsey. This could be a big Kraken showdown between Fox and Nova for the winning play of the game, you feel?
Yeah, this is huge for Echo Fox with that Storm Crown. They do it fairly quickly. They need to fight around it. Truth throws out the silence. They're straight onto Erwin. He's getting chunked. He gets knocked up. The fountain keeps him alive. He's still healing. He's still running. And Truth is going very low. Oblivion gets blocked. Lone Delphi takes down Erwin, but Supershot finds the kill onto Truth. Junglers versus carries taking out the kills. Now they're looking for more. The slow comes out from Slater, but Echo Fox can't chase into the enemy jungle. Don't want to play on that turf. Instead, they're going to look to fight where they have vision right now. Lone Delphi trying to secure himself this Treant. He is able to do so. Gets tanked on down. Here comes the Crystal Sentry. It's got a candy on top of it as well. They're going to start looking for the fight. A lot of damage down onto Lone Delphi, but they don't have the vision. The contraption not respawning enough for the side of Slater. It is going to be everyone going back to base.
That's one of my major issues with the fact that you take up a final item slot that I think should be used for flares, for more health. I understand the premise of it. The health is so important for keeping Erwin alive. It's being absolutely wonderful in these team fights to have the health stacking on the Lyra. But to be completely frank, flares are so important for executing and securing kills onto Lone Delphi. Vader can also use this Oak Heart to turn it into something else. I don't know whether he's just looking to refresh his infusion. He does get the Dragon Heart, so the extra health going towards his healing. I mean, these sigils will just be monstrous. You know, every couple of seconds now as well, with the cooldown reductions there as well from the contraption. I
saw this Scoundrel on FlashX's stream. A huge, long, sweaty three-man queue game with the top Elo Vainglory players in North America. FlashX on Lyra, Gabe Vizzle on Grace. And to win the game, it was a null wave gauntlet that came out from FlashX's Lyra. Of course, with the Dragon Heart, he can turn that into a null wave gauntlet and force Starboy to use his Crucible to block the item silence, or if he fails to, that is a lot of damage, and Truth may just lose his life instantaneously. This is where Slater's going towards. He is pretty far away from it, I think, Scoundrel. I believe it's about 1,750 gold for the combined cost with the Dragon Heart.
Oh, they are running in here.
They are going for the engage. It's a long pour, bit of damage down onto Lone Delphi.
Oh, just afterburn, just go for the afterburn. I know you might get blocked, but Truth is so overextended here.
Pops his War Treads to escape. That's one set. No, it's both sets of the War Treads down. A lot of movement just gone. Slater has his own. This is where you need a fight, Scoundrel. There's split. They've used their War Treads. Surely you go for the fight, but Echo Fox are just playing this so
do it.
Passively.
Just pull the trigger, Supershot. What's the worst that could happen? You've got the Grace Heal to back you up.
Lyra Hill, yeah. No, this is fear from Echo Fox because they understand how important a series win here is at Scoundrel. And at this 24-minute mark, Kraken can just win the game. And they don't want to give Nova that opportunity. They have to be careful. They have split up here. I think Erwin should be fine with that. Lone Delphi is on top. Super shot
Oh,
goes over the
big
wall.
hit.
Knocks Truth into it. Can they kill him? Bright Bulwark goes down. Holy Nova does stop them up. Oblivion does get blocked up. Starboy over the hills pops the wall treads. They're trying to escape. The Madison Verdict's doing work. The Kraken gonna get in their way. Owen gonna start pushing forth. They need to re-engage here. They need to keep the pressure up. So many heals have been used already. Just use your afterburn, but no. Super shot. Not comfortable pulling the trigger, Scoundrel. Back to the dance we go.
And Lone Delphi, by the way, a major issue for him, not got a broken myth, so his damage is really starting to fall off at this stage in the game as well. Even through that Lyra heal, it's feeling more and more impossible, so the longevity of the fights for Nova is pretty weak. Fox still reluctant to pull the trigger. Starboy takes so much damage. Just do it, Super Shot! Be a man! Be a man, pull the trigger, use that afterburn!
I guess I was gonna say, it doesn't apply anymore because Slater's just got himself a crystal infusion. The silver lining is that Slater was only a couple hundred gold away from that Norwave Gauntlet, but a couple hundred gold becomes 500 minus now, so further away than before. Fighting in the lane seems to only favor Nova as they can dance around. It's a lot of damage down onto this Lyra. They're going to kite back into their jungle. That's damage onto Delphi. Good Bright Bulwark going to lock everyone up. Irwin now with the Malice and Verdict. Can he land down the damage? Let's go. Oblivion puts Lone Delphi to sleep as he dives to his death. The reverse poly movement coming in as Echo Fox find a kill. Irwin now chasing, looking for the kills. He has the heals. Let's go for it. Super shot flies on in and Truth gets knocked on back. He's going to get chunked on down as Starboy is trying to outrun Owen, but he cannot. It's the ace for Echo Fox Scoundrel at 27 minutes.
They have got a lot of time to work with here, Dalsy, but is it enough time to win the game? That's the real question. To get through 3 turrets, they've got a big wave of ace minions coming their way. They're going to ignore Kraken for the moment. This could be the game-winning play for Echo Fox. They finally found the fight necessary, and with 30 seconds on Grace and Truth, I don't think Lone Delphi can do enough. This is going to be Fox getting through to the second day in the first time in VGA ever.
First time for Echo Fox. They win game 1. They win game 3. They have 2 points in the VG8. And tomorrow, Scoundrel against Tempo Storm. They have a chance to escape the prison that seems to bind Echo Fox, which is the challenge battles.
Excellent play from Echo Fox there. And again, you said, I want this to become a thing. The poly maneuver and the reverse poly maneuver. I really want that to become a thing. The reverse